Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
All right, when you hop on your lines, it's going to be a full house. We're going to max this out. Boom, we're maxed out. Boom. 1 minute, we're maxed out. All right, I'm going to mute you all. Hold on.
Where?
Hi, everybody. Let's see. Hi. Hold on. Let me mute you all.
Are you in?
Wow, you guys, it's awesome. Like literally less than a minute, we had all 100 spots full. Oh my God. Yay. Just muted you all, so can you guys hear me? Thumbs up if you can hear me. Awesome. I know we're gonna have some people that are angry that they couldn't get on, but I warned y'all. You know, leaders show up early. Wow, I'm a little overwhelmed right now, to be honest with you. I'm really excited. I'm really freaking fired up. This is not gonna be an easy Zoom call. I'm gonna be really, really hard on you. And, you know, I've heard many of you guys say that you want this really, really bad. And how many of you, I want you to raise your hands, and I'm gonna kind of look at this really close. How many of you guys wanna be in the top 2% of this organization? Okay, let me see your hands. And for those of you that have your camera off, turn them on. I don't care how messy you look. So if you're hiding behind something, let's see you. I wanna see your faces. Otherwise, I'm gonna boot you off and make room for somebody that's willing to show their face. Come on. Come on, baby. Okay, so I'm seeing lots of hands go up. And so the thing is lots of you want the results and might not necessarily want to do the work. And so this call is going to be a prep to, I'm going to mute everybody, sorry. Mute all. Okay. I hear somebody, I don't know. Hold on. I think I see that one. Hold on. All right, can you guys hear me still? Can you still hear me? Okay, good. Anyway, this call is gonna be difficult. It's gonna make some of you really uncomfortable. It's probably gonna make a lot of you pissed off at me, and I'm totally okay with that. Because, you know, it's one thing, like if I did this just to be liked, then I'm not really gonna help you become the leader that you say you wanna be. And, you know, I'd much rather be respected and trusted than liked any day of the week. And, you know, a lot of you want the results, but you might not necessarily want to do the hard work, not just logistically, but on yourself. And I understand that this is not easy. I mean, we see the highlight reel all over Facebook. We see the highlight reel even at amazing celebration. We see all the people walking across the stage and we're like, oh my goodness, that looks so fun. Yet we don't always see the hard work that was put into that, the hard work that some of those people have really done on themselves. And I'm gonna only speak for myself because I can only speak for myself. I know how much freaking hard work this has been over the last 3 years. And then the years before I even got to Isogenics. So we're gonna bust right into this. How the next 12 to 14 weeks are gonna go is, this is gonna be kind of like, are you all in? Are you making the commitment, or are you out? And if you're out, guess what? I am totally not being in judgment of you. I get this is really freaking hard. And this is gonna push a lot of you out of your comfort zone. It is going to make some people around you really uncomfortable as well. And that's usually when a lot of us retreat because, you know, it's, you know, maybe they're people you live with, maybe they're whoever. I understand that this is going to be hard and you're going to be challenged. And, you know, all that power comes from inside. And I'm not going to lie. Well, I'll get to that because that's a little bit down the road. I'm not going to blast you right from the beginning. So this first week is going to be kind of prepping you for what it's going to take for really, oh, are you all there? Hold on a second. Are you guys all still here?
Yes.
Okay, something's popping up on my computer really, really weird. I'm sorry. All right, sorry. So this is going to be a prep week to see if you're willing to make this commitment. And if you're not, I am not going to judge you. None of us are going to judge you because this is, I mean, we're going from now until like Thanksgiving in this 90-day game plan. And I know things happen and life happens and, you know, many of you are working full-time jobs and, you know, full-time families. And I understand you're going to have some hard conversations, and we'll get to that too. But this week will be just prep. This week will be, if you're ready, willing, and able to make that commitment to not just you, but your teams. Because your teams will do what you do, not what you say to do. And even if you're just on your own, you're an associate, that's totally okay, because many are coming. Many are coming because you've made the commitment that you want to do this. All 100 of you that were logged on within 30 seconds of this call being started have all said you are willing to make that commitment. And so this isn't about you. You heard that if you were at Celebration. None of this is about you. So when things happen and the hard stuff happens, know that none of this is about you, and you're going to keep pushing forward. Can we get a yes, I'm all in? All right, I'm seeing hands. Okay, so we're going to start with taking personal responsibility. And this is a hard one because, you know, many of you maybe have a relationship, a spouse, families, kids, whatever. And, you know, I could blame my kids for why I don't do some of the things I do. However, it's my choice. You know, this is going to take serious commitment. Many of you guys may have come home from Celebration all fired up, and your families that were at home waiting for you are like, what the heck has gotten into them? And what happens is you're a lot of talk right now, and you haven't really put things into action. Or maybe your track record is one of those things. You're a great starter, but not necessarily a phenomenal finisher. And I'm only saying that because I was one of those people. I could start, you know, when Jill Birth talks about her before pictures, I was one of those too that would start every challenge, start every venture, and usually I wouldn't finish it because I didn't feel I was worth it. I didn't feel I deserved it. I would self-sabotage things, or I wouldn't even put my goals out there because I was afraid if I failed, who would think what about me? So maybe I'm resonating with one of you or two of you guys that, you know, maybe that's your pattern. And if you really, really, really want people to take you seriously, especially the people you love the most, you're going to have to do the work and a lot less of this. Okay. You've put it out there. You're going to have the hard conversations, but now it's time to freaking do the work. Okay. We're going to get into that. You know, if somebody upsets you, or, you know, I've heard this a lot lately, you know, so-and-so hurt my feelings, or, you know, this happened. And trust me, I can be a sensitive Sally myself in the past. I totally can. And, you know, they can't have that kind of power over you unless you give it to them. So if people are hurting your feelings, it's because you're giving that power away. If people push you to maybe not finish something you started, that is completely on you. I have kids. I am a single parent. I know what sacrifices come when you're a parent, when you have a family, when you have a full-time job. I get it. So this is going to take really meticulous scheduling. If organization is not your thing, it is not mine. I am not great with time management. This 90-day game plan is down to a science, hour by hour in my day. You know, you got to own it. You have to guard your energy. If you have negative Nellies around you, you're going to have to cut them off. And I'm sorry, if that's a spouse, then maybe you're going to have to figure some stuff out for the next 90 days. And I get it. It's easy for me to say because I don't have a spouse, but that's because I cut out all negativity. So I'm just saying it. So, you know, it's one of those things to guard your energy. And even like, when I get involved in conversations, even some of my beautiful ISA family, you know, I'll feel them kind of like, you know, going there, maybe with some gossip, maybe, you know, comparing, and they're having the Debbie Downer syndrome. You know, I stop them right then and there. Like, I don't want any part of that. I don't want any part of that. I can't allow that into my energy. And you know what? You not participating in that will show people that you're not on board with that. But the minute you engage in that conversation, even listening to it, lets them know that you're cool with that. So can we agree that we are not going to participate or listen to any negativity? Can we agree to that? This is probably one of the biggest things. And honestly, it was starting to happen over the weekend. And I didn't like it, and I put an end to it. I'm like, listen, I'm out of this conversation right now. I don't care how much I love you, but I am so not on board with this, because anything that you let into, it's just like why we cleanse. You know what I'm saying? We got to cleanse that negativity. And the minute you let that into your energy bubble, it's going to suck the life right out of you. You're going to attract more of that if you let that in. So it's really, really important that you guard your energy. Now, the other thing, you're going to have to walk the walk you talk. Right now, we're all freaking fired up, yeah? I mean, we're like, woohoo, 90-day game plan, 90-day game plan. But what happens October 1st? Are you still walking the walk that you talked today? And here's the thing, like I asked a bunch of you, who wanted to step into their leadership. I asked a bunch of you who was all in, and a lot of you said, I'm all in, I'm all in, I'm all in. And you know what? I screenshotted it and I have you all written down on my whiteboard. So I can see on October 1st who really is walking the walk they talk. Because right now, at the beginning of it, it's really freaking fun, isn't it? It is, until, your family says, get off Facebook. Mom, are you on the phone again? And I get that, and that's gonna be on you to really explain what's going to come. So, to be in the top 2% of anything, it takes a lot of work. And I'm gonna tell you right now, when I started Isogenics and it was week 5 at my first event where I made the commitment, I said I was all in. I am going to be that 2%. I am going to be that 2%, and I'm not going to stop until I'm there. And I committed 2 years every single day to work this. Now, that's not hard to do, even if you have a full-time job, even if you have a full-time family. You can do this from anywhere if you have Wi-Fi, if you have a smartphone.
Oh, Barbara, you're weird.
Oh, hold on. Is somebody chatting about me? Hold on a second. I get distracted with noise, so hold on a second. Mute all. Mute. Okay, can you still hear me?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know who. Okay. So you're going to have to work this every day. You really, really are, even if it's an hour. I know many of you are watching Game of Thrones. We're going to put that aside for 90 days. We are. We're going to put Netflix aside for 90 days. We're going to put a lot less Facebook time away for 90 days. Can we agree to that? How about you do that for 2 years? I'm telling you, I am a sports junkie and I didn't watch SportsCenter for 2 years. And my son made fun of me because I literally couldn't tell you the starting lineup of any of my favorite teams anymore. And he was appalled. And I was like, listen, you're going to any college you want without having to worry about it, right? He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, then I cannot know who's in the Chicago Bears for the next 2 seasons. It's going to be okay. And, you got to take away those shiny objects. And so really, make the commitment. And here's the thing, you guys, if you're a parent, if you're a team leader, your friends, your family, your teams will do what you do, not what you say to do. So I'm telling you right now, you better be doing the freaking work. And so here's another part of the picture where people struggle is, I've always had an entrepreneur mindset. I knew that I was emotionally unemployable. I always did. I knew from day one. It's why I wanted to be a firefighter, because I like the schedule. I like the change of scenery every minute. A lot of you probably didn't know that about me. But I knew I was emotionally unemployable, and I have an entrepreneur mindset. Many of you don't. That is the minority. So if you do have an employee mindset, you might be thinking, well, I'm going to clock in and then clock out. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're as passionate about doing this as I am and I have been and I was, then this should never be off your brain. It doesn't mean you don't enjoy life, but entrepreneurs don't retire. We really don't. We really don't. We may retire from the 9 to 5 kind of traditional kind of clock in, clock out, get the 401k thing, but there's no retiring. We have fun. We have a lot of passion. But there are no days off when you are doing something you're so passionate about. And I understand for some of you that might be a little scary. But when you're having as much fun as we do, doing what we do, helping as many people, when you're serving people, if I take any time off, I get a little uncomfortable because I'm thinking there's somebody else out there I could be helping right now. So I want you to kind of grab that mindset. If you're not there, I totally understand. This might not be for you, and that's totally okay. Totally okay. But if you're going to say you're all in, you're going to have to make this decision today. No days off for 2 years. You can do that. I have worked this job, I'm serious, from St. Thomas. I have worked it from the Eiffel Tower. I have worked it from mountaintops and beaches. I have worked it into the pockets of my life every single day, honestly, for about 3 years. And I would say that it was worth it to have not just freedom for myself and my family, but for my generations that are going to follow me. I promise you right now, yes, you're going to have the hard conversations, and I'll get into the hard conversation I had to have with my 2 kids because I got the stuff at me. So, you know, you got to change the mindset. You are an entrepreneur. You are not retiring. You might retire from your traditional 9-to-5 job, but you need to understand that if you're as passionate about helping and serving people, that this is something that you're going to do till you're 6 feet under. And that excites me. To know that I'm doing what I'm so passionate about, that I can wake up every day and help somebody and get ridiculously overpaid to do it. It really, really is exciting to me knowing that I have found at 40 years old what I was destined to do. Does that excite any of you guys? Yeah? Okay. So what that means for a lot of you is blocking out your time. And, you know, a lot of you may have walked away from your careers to do this. I talked to one of my good friends today about that is, woohoo, we've got all the time in the world if we've walked away from our job and then the next thing you know, a day has passed, 2 days have passed because you've put stuff off. Those of you that don't have a job probably have a harder time blocking out your time. I'm one of those people, so I get it. Those of you that have full-time jobs and full-time families, you are so diligent with your time that you actually do a better job at it than those of us that have more of the time freedom. But we waste a lot of it. We find ourselves wasting it. So it is going to be imperative that you schedule your social media time. You schedule your phone time. You schedule your connection time. I know it sounds monotonous and mundane, but you're going to have to master the mundane, as Angelique Nori says all the time. This is the unsexy stuff. This is not the glory stuff that you see. This is the hard work that puts you in that 2%. So you're going to have to block out your time. You're going to have to get rid of some things. You're going to have to lose those shiny objects. Okay. One other part of this is personal development. And I know this is some of the things that people really love doing, almost to a fault, because, and I see a lot of the faces on this call. I know you're working on personal development. You're doing personal development, but you aren't necessarily putting it into action. And that is the problem. I think a lot of people, and in speaking with a lot of my own team and cross lines and all across, not just in isogenics, but in general, you know, we're kind of addicted to this personal development stuff. We'll go to events, which are really, really important. We'll go and read a great book somebody's recommended. We'll listen to podcasts all day long. All that stuff is really good information to get in, but it does not replace your work income producing. Those aren't income producing activities. Those are separate. Now, what I see a lot of people doing is personal development, yet they're waiting for themselves to be so personally developed before they start doing the work. And one of the things that I really did early on from day one, even before I started Isogenics, is as I was every day, there was personal development going on, but it was in tandem with the work. You have to do the work alongside the personal development. You have to be okay with being messy. You have to be okay with sounding like an asshole sometimes. It happens, and it's okay. It keeps you raw, real, relatable, trustworthy. I mean, seriously, I'm a freaking hot mess, and people just trust me because who does that? Nobody. Everybody's putting on a mask, trying to be something that they're not. Everybody's trying to be perfect at this. And I'm telling you right now, if you're perfect, you aren't duplicatable anyway. You might be able to enroll like a mad woman, but if nobody can do what you do, it's pointless. It really is pointless. The key is to duplicate yourself. Okay. So personal development is really, really, really important because what you put in is what you're going to put out there, but you have to put it out there too. You can't just kind of wait till you're perfectly personally developed in order to do this. In fact, you're crippling yourself because what happens a lot of times also is people will work on personal development and they'll start opening some stuff up that maybe they didn't know was there and it freaks them out and then they go into isolation mode. That sound familiar to anybody? Anyone? I've seen it happen over and over and over. It's happened to me, even recently. And I'm just going to be really honest with you. I have tapped into some stuff that, holy crap, scared me that I didn't know was there. Maybe that's you. And when we work on personal development, sometimes that'll happen. We'll be sitting there and all of a sudden emotions will take over and it will paralyze us or throw us into isolation. Put your hand up if that's happened to you. It's totally okay. It's totally normal. The key is to push freaking through it. You gotta push through it. And it's okay. It's okay, that's normal. Many of us have many decades of things and experiences, some great, some not so great, that we have to chip away at. When we remove the masks, people aren't always comfortable with that. When you're working on personal development, know you're gonna stir up some stuff and be okay with it. You're gonna push through anyway. You don't slap on a mask, you don't go numb out, you don't go isolate. We're all in here, right? We're in this together. You don't ever have to do this alone unless you choose to. Can we agree to that? Awesome. Okay, so personal development. Another thing, is getting to events. And I know most of you were probably at Celebration over the weekend, over last week, and that's awesome. I'd be curious to see how many of you brought people, or if maybe you didn't go, you had stuff come up. I heard lots of excuses out there, and I know that sounds harsh, but it is. I have things happen all the time. My very first event that I committed to go to, I literally had my entire world shattered 2 days before. And I had every reason not to walk in the front door. Every reason. And I went anyway, because I made the commitment to myself. So you should already have your New Year kickoff ticket. And if you don't, in the next 2 weeks, it needs to be purchased. We have to walk the walk we talk. We can't tell people to go to events and then not be there. There's a reason why we had 1,000 from our team at Celebration the last week. 1,000 in 3 years. In 3 years, we had 1,000 members of our team there. And that is because I show up. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. I freaking show up. And I don't just show up, I'm doing the work. I'm there, I'm the first one in the room. Even though they have a special seat save for me, I'm still the first one there. And I'm almost always the last one out of the room, because that's what leaders do. How are you showing up to events? Are you the one blowing off leadership meetings? Are ya? I mean, we had Eric freaking Worre there. I know some of you blew it off. So not okay. There's nothing okay with that, because that kind of trickle down is not what you want. They do what you do, not what you say to do. Are you showing up? Are you in the hallways? Are you texting? Are you taking selfies when somebody's up on stage? That irritates me. We want to be respectful. You got to show up as the leader that you want duplicated. And I don't want anybody taking selfies when somebody's up on a stage. I don't want conversation happening when people are presenting. I don't want people showing up late, so I don't show up late. I don't want people to leave early, because I don't leave early. So it's going to take a big commitment from you. I know it's sounding harsh. I know this is like, seriously, Tracy, we're not in freaking kindergarten. However, I see a lot of people doing this. We're freaking adults, all right? Really, really important. Okay, so what leadership is and what it isn't. So when I put the call out for, hold on a second. This is where it's going to get tough, you guys. Okay, so buckle up. So when I put the call out and wanted to know who wanted to step into their leadership, I got lots of you saying, me, 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 me. And that's awesome, because I'm going to hold you to it. And let me tell you, I've got you highlighted on my whiteboard in front of me, so I know exactly who is telling me that. What leadership isn't is being a guest on a team call or presenting. It isn't. It's doing the freaking work. And what is the work? That means enrolling new people. That means getting people paid, and that means being of service to others. End of story. That is leadership. It isn't the glamorous stuff like presenting on a stage. I didn't present once on a stage until I was a 6-star Golden Circle, because I was too busy doing the freaking work. And even last month, even though I've got ridiculous stuff in front of my name, stupid stuff, I still, in the month of July, enrolled 3 people, got 3 people paid, got to an event, and I was of service to others every single day. That's leadership. It isn't saying I'm stepping into it and then waiting for Tracy to tell me what to do. That is not leadership. And for those of you that texted me or messaged me saying, I need you to hold me accountable, I need your tough love, I'm telling you right now, if you're waiting for me to toughen you up or to hold you accountable, what does that say about you? And if that was one of you, I'm not saying this to upset any of you, if I waited around for somebody to pour tough love into me, or if I waited around for somebody to keep me accountable, none of you are freaking here. because it wouldn't have happened. I had nothing and I had nobody. It was me. Because that fire has to come from inside. It doesn't mean you can't be inspired by somebody or me or anything. But my best teaching, honestly, isn't a Zoom call or on freaking stage at Celebration. My best coaching is doing the work. Enrolling people, getting them paid, and being of service. Enrolling people, getting them paid, being of service. That is it. That is really the rocket science behind isogenics and the compensation plan. It's nothing more difficult than that. Yet a lot of you guys don't want to do that stuff. You want to do the fun stuff. You want to do the sparkly stuff. You want to do the glamorous stuff. You want to present. And that's all fine and good. But I'm watching for the people that are going to do the work. So I may ask some of you to step in, but I'm going to be watching to see who's enrolling, who's getting people paid, and who's being of service in our beautiful health and wellness page. We've got 30,000 people in there that need you. And if you're a 2%er, you need to be spending 30 minutes a day loving on people without any agenda. Seriously, that is leadership. That is walking the walk you talk. You know, I don't enjoy doing this. I don't enjoy being on stage. I really, really don't. I realize I'm good at it and I'm okay with that now, but that isn't my best work. My best work is one-on-one with somebody, getting them started. My best work is grabbing the hand of somebody at the leadership meeting and pouring love into them and helping them when nobody's watching. That isn't the glamorous stuff, but that's leadership. And I'm not saying this to toot my own horn. I really am not. But so many of you are on this call waiting for the secret sauce. And I'm telling you right now, the secret sauce is bringing in new people, getting them paid, and serving them. It really, really is that. And as far as that 30 minutes in your health pages, and I know we have a few different, our team has gotten so amazing and big that we have different leadership groups in our teams and other teams that, spending that 30 minutes in your team pages, whatever that looks like for you, your next rock star is going to come out of a product user. I'd say about 95% of our top 100 income earners started as product users that wanted nothing to do with the business. Nothing. I was one of those people. So what happens a lot of time is when we decide we're going to be that 2%, when we decide we're going to be that leader, all of a sudden we turn into management mode and we become something totally different than what we started out as. I've seen people go so fast to executive and then all of a sudden they get there and they think because there's an executive or an extra star or circle in front of their name that they have to change what they were doing when they started. And quite honestly, by them doing that, they're ruining their organization because they're teaching them something different than what got them there. Are you feeling me? Am I making any sense? The reason I don't do a lot of these extra things and big team trainings, and I'm not knocking anybody that does, I get it. But honestly, the things that make you the money, the things that are going to help you get paid, and the things that are going to help you get your people paid are enrolling, getting them paid, and being of service. It isn't, a team call every 5 seconds. It isn't, and I'm not knocking any of that because if it helps you, great. But what my experience has been is people that spend a lot of time showing up on that stuff usually aren't doing the work. They're waiting for that one nugget that's going to make this easy, and it's just not freaking easy. You feeling me?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. I know I'm not sorry, but if I'm hurting your feelings, this probably isn't for you. And I'm okay with that. Sorry. It's really hard. I know. It's not fun. It's not fun. And when we feel like we've talked to everybody and we've got our list of 100 and it's really scary because it is. There's a lot of scary people on those lists and we don't want to call them. We don't want to be vulnerable. We don't want to show them that maybe we don't know what the heck we're doing. That's paralyzing you and that's keeping you from being the beautiful leader you are destined to be and that I know you have in you. It's okay to not know what you're doing. It's okay to not know. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be messy. It's okay to not do your hair every day for about a week now. It really is okay. It really is okay. And I really want you guys to know that you don't have to be perfect. You just have to do it. Can we commit to doing the work? I am going to ask some of you guys to step up, but I'm watching you like a hawk. And I don't mean that in a micromanaging kind of way. I'm not, because I hate micromanagement. I really freaking hate it and I don't enjoy it. But I've got your names down, and I'm watching you, because those that want to step into their leadership, they do the work when nobody's watching, even though I'm watching. And now y'all know I'm watching, so I guess I shouldn't have told you, but I hope you're feeling me right now. I hope you're feeling me right now. Your best coaching, your best leading does by doing the work. Putting your head down, doing the work. You don't have to pick up the phone and ask your team, are you doing the work? I never have. I've never been that person. I've never been one of those that say, oh, your auto ship isn't, you need to do your, no, we're all grown-ups. People are grown-ups. If they're gonna let their thing fall, that's on them. It's up to us to explain what that is once and how to do it once. We can read and we know how to click Google, right? Stop pulling people along that don't want to do the work. You can't want it more for them than they want it. I will never pull anybody along. And I think because I haven't, I've made some pretty strong leaders in our organization. I know that's why. I know that's why. Because I'm doing the work and I'm not pulling anybody along. I'm like, here you go. This is the vision. We can blow this thing up. We're going to be in the top 2%. We're going to be the fastest growing team in isogenics. Are you with me? Yes, great. Now walk the walk you talk. Because if you don't keep up, I'm flying ahead without you. And you have to have that attitude. Because if you wait back for somebody that's not doing the work, you're going to bring your entire organization down. And you're going to bring your spirit down. Then why don't you just become a manager, a boss? Why don't you just punch a clock, because that's what you're doing. Entrepreneurs don't have to pull people along. And if you're having to pull people along, they're not ready. And that's totally okay. And I've had conversations, and even with some of you on this call, I've said, listen, maybe you're not ready. And it's totally okay. I'm not judging you for that. I get it. Because if I had not put in the work on myself before I got to isogenics, this looks completely different. If this had come along 4 years ago instead of 3, this looks completely different. And I understand if you're not ready. This is hard work. You take a lot of freaking arrows when you stand up in your truth. You do. And it's really, really hard. And it hurts. It hurts a lot. But I don't care. I don't care. Because I have a vision for not just me, not just my family, but all of yours and all of your families. And if I quit, you're going to quit. And I will never quit on you. Don't quit on your people. Don't quit on your families. Don't quit on your teams. You deserve that. They deserve that. So I'm never going to quit on you. I'm not. It's not about the money. It isn't about the recognition, because I really don't even like that. It's about you guys. Because if I quit, you quit. If you quit, your teams quit. And I know you made some promises to people that showed up with you that you were going to help them and that you were going to show them the way. Yet you've quit, or you've taken a break, or it's summertime. I'm going to take the summer off. You're basically giving everybody else that came after you permission to do the same. And they're never going to hit their dreams if you do that. So with great reward comes great responsibility. So if you want to be in that top 2%, you're going to have to make the commitment. And when you're having a bad day, and when people are giving you shit, and they're going to, you push through it anyway. You push through it anyway. You push through it anyway. Are you hearing me? All right, I'm seeing lots of head nodding. And I know it's really easy because Tracy's saying it right now, but the first arrow that comes your way, you're gonna be like, oh, this isn't worth it. This isn't worth it, but you are. You are. We have lots of people to bless in this journey. We really, really do. This world, Emily said it perfectly, this world needs us. And to be the top 2% in this company or in anything, I'm telling you, the higher up and the brighter your light shines, the more they're going to attack you. They are. So I know it's hard to take, and right now it's easy because we're all liquored up on adrenaline and excitement. But 2 weeks from now, when this gets a little old, when the excitement is worn off, when the crash after the event has come down, I'm going to look at my list, and I'm going to see how many of you are still in the game. And I don't mean just being on these calls, because honestly, I've seen people show up to calls left and right, and they haven't really worked on themselves very much. They're just waiting for the easy way, and there is no easy way. You can't go around it. You got to just go right through it and power through it. So, like I said, you know, those of you that have asked me to keep you accountable and light a fire under you, that ain't going to happen. What I can do for you is just keep doing the work and showing you how it's done. And so, you know, you're going to have that internal flame, you know, even if it's just a little flicker, even if it's just, you know, that smoldering campfire, even if you're just like right there and you're almost burnt out, but you still got that little thing where if you just push the coals a little bit, it's going to go up in flames. I'll shove your coals. I'll shove your coals and I'll fan the little flicker, but you have to start the fire. And you have to be unshakable and unstoppable. Can we agree to that? All right? I'm not going to hold anybody accountable. You're an entrepreneur. You've got this. You're going to have to take responsibility for this. This is your business. I will be your biggest freaking fan and cheerleader, let me tell you. And I promise you, I will always do the work. I will always I will never ask you to do something that I'm not doing myself. Right? And you can't be asking people to do things you're unwilling to do. So we're going to commit to do the work, yeah? Awesome. All right. So a checklist. We're going to, next Monday starts our 90-day game plan. So we got some work to do. I've done a vision board before. I know many of you have. It's time to do a new one. All of us. Because we have different eyes today than we did a week, a month, 10 days ago, whatever. I want you to do a new vision board. Do it with your families. This is really important for those of you that maybe don't have support or you're afraid to tell your family your goals because you have a track record of starting things and not finishing them. And I know there's a lot of people that do that. And I get it. I totally get it. But it's going to take having the hard conversation and having that vision for your family. I was about 8 months into isogenics when my kids were really irritated with all of this. They were so sick of it. They didn't understand. What they saw was mom on Facebook all day long, mom having earphones in, having conversations when they're in the car and they have to shush, and they didn't understand, and that's my fault. It's not that they were being unreasonable. They just didn't understand. They didn't know what they didn't know. And so I had to have the really hard conversation with them. I sat them down. I will never forget it. It was in December of 2013. And I said, listen, guys, this is my plan. This is what I'm going to do. This is what it's going to look like. And this is what we're going to have to sacrifice for that to happen. And I promise you, in 4 months, when I hit this goal, because I'm going to freaking nail it, but I'm going to need you patient. I'm going to need you to understand when mom's on the phone that means I'm down to business. I will never miss a baseball game. I will never miss a dance recital, and nobody else will bring you to school but me. But you're going to have to understand that this is for you. And mom is all freaking in. And I'm going to crush it. And they're like, whoa, okay. And when I told them I was going to crush it, I was going to take each of them separately to do something different because they have different interests. So I said, when I nail this goal, you're going with me here, you're going with me here, and we're going to have the best freaking time of our lives. I will still work when we go do that, but it'll be different. It'll be scheduled. And they're like, okay. But it wasn't until then, and I actually sat them down, and my kids are a little bit older, so I can do that. I sat them down in front of my computer with me, and they saw what I had built. They saw the beautiful Facebook group, Strive for Change, which I know we have a few people from different teams here, so I get you may not know what that means. And they saw what I built, and they were like, oh my gosh, is that what you've been doing all day? And I said, yeah. They're like, you're just loving people all day long. I said, yes, that's what I'm doing all day long. And, in the beginning of my journey, and I'm just going to share this with you, with those of you that don't know my whole story, 2 days before my first event, my world was completely shattered. And it was probably the most heartbreaking 6 months of my life. And the old me, when I go through things like that, would isolate, would self-loathe, would self-sabotage, would binge eat, would, do things that were really destructive because I felt unworthy. If somebody was willing to leave me, then there must be something wrong with me. And I'm just being really candid with you. And that never got me anywhere but worse. And so, you know, when I started Isogenics for the 6 months prior to that, I'd done some really different work on myself. And, you know, I wanted something different from my life. So I needed to do something different. And I did before Isogenics, about 6 months before. And some of my best thinking that I thought was my best thinking had gotten me into some of my lowest places. And so when my world got rocked early in my first month of Isogenics, I knew that in order to not isolate, to not stay stuck in there, to not self-sabotage, to not completely screw this whole thing up, I needed to pour myself and love and service into other people. And those of you that have done a challenge with me before, I know many of you have, one of the things I push you to do is to be of service, especially when you don't want to, especially when you're going through shit, especially when you are having a bad day. Instead of isolating, get in our Facebook group and start loving the shit out of people. Because what happens is not only does that help you heal, but you're gonna get a comment back saying, thank you, you just said exactly what I needed to hear. And all of a sudden, all the crap in your head, all the crap in your world that, yes, it is a big deal to you, and I get that. My world, it was a big deal to me. But I very quickly realized that this was something much bigger than me. You heard it over and over this weekend. This is something so much bigger than us. And when you are in service of others, it is very hard to stay stuck in your yuck. And you aren't helping yourself or anybody else when you stay there. And I'm telling you right now, this is my biggest battle still every single day. Isolation is my go-to crutch. It is my go-to numb out. I can easily do it. And you know what? I can hide out in my pretty house here and nobody's going to know. And I know when I'm doing it. And I have to pull myself out. And that is exactly when I pull out the phone and I start loving on people. Because if I let that go on for a day, 2 days, 3 days, holy moly, the destruction I'm going to cause. So if you are going through stuff, or if you're having a hard time, or if people are being jerks to you, or maybe you've had a fight with your husband or wife, that is when you pour your service into other people. I'm telling you, it works. I've had to tell my own son this when he's going through stuff. You know, for an 18-year-old to hear that, it's not what you want to hear, because you just want people to take the pain away. Because this is going to be a painful process. This is not easy. And people are going to rub you the wrong way, and people aren't going to understand. And you're going to try to self-sabotage this whole thing because maybe you don't feel like you're worthy of this. Or maybe you're afraid of success. Maybe you're afraid of failure. I don't know. You're gonna start to do things like isolate. You're gonna start to have a pity party for yourself. And if that happens, you throw yourself into strive and you start loving the crap out of people. That is how in the first 6 months of me starting this, why that beautiful page became what it was, is because I was in so much freaking pain. I was in there all day long just trying to pull myself out of it. I really was. That is the God's honest truth. And loving those people helped me heal, but more importantly, it was helping others. And I'm not gonna lie, I still have days like that. And that is when I am of greatest service. So if you get nothing else from this entire 14 weeks or whatever we're gonna do, please take that one nugget and apply it to every aspect of your life, not just Isogenics. Please, not just Isogenics. I promise you, if you get nothing else from this, that will change your life in ways you cannot imagine. The right people will show up and the right ones will go. They will. Do we all need a big, deep breath? I do. Did I lose anybody? No, we still got 100 strong here. I think I'm getting messages. People are mad because they couldn't get on, including my own children. So that sucks for them. I told them to get on early. Oh, they're on! Yay! My kids made it on. I see my daughter. Hi, Casey. We had a whole Start Your Life group. Okay. All right. I needed a break after that. That was pretty deep, right? You guys okay? You didn't expect that, right? Or maybe you did from me. I'm telling you guys right now, being of service to others is the greatest gift you can give to yourself. It will change the habits and patterns that maybe, like for me, for 4 decades, that's how I operated. when things would go wrong, isolation. And I'm telling you right now, isolation will rob you of any joy that you can have and any joy that you can spread onto other people. And hiding behind Facebook is not always being of service, but it's a start sometimes when we're in so much pain. And in the beginning, I was in so much pain. That was all I could do. And maybe that resonates with one or two of you. But I promise you, get out of your house, get some fresh air. I have to force myself even today to do that. Go smile at people. Have no agenda, but to just love the crap out of people. That's it. All right? All right, we're moving on. Okay. So we're going to do the vision boards. Can we all agree by next Monday, we're going to have a vision board done, a new one. Do them with your families. My kids and I are doing ours this week. I'm so pumped to freaking do it with them. We've got a whole new vision of people we want to serve. Like, yeah, it's going to be great. What's going to happen? But being of service to others with no agenda will reap all the beautiful benefits. It all starts with a heart of service, with zero agenda. I want you to take, yes, it's okay to have goals, because we're going to talk about our next goal in a second. It's okay to have the big goal up there. I had a goal. I had said at that first event, I was going to be a millionaire in 3 years. And I couldn't believe I said I was a crystal manager. I'd just been walked out on. Literally, I had no idea what the heck I was going to do with that. But I said it. And then I put that little thing up there, and then I got to work. So it's okay to have a goal or a rank that you have that you want at the end of this. But I'm going to tell you the fastest way to get there are those three things. You get people started, you get them paid, and you're of service to others every day. Okay? So you can write those three things down. People, paid, service. People, paid, service. People, paid, service. That's the secret sauce. Okay, so the other thing I want you to do, even if you're a Crystal Executive already, is I want you to print out the map to Crystal Executive. Do all of you know what that is? And if you don't, Google Crystal Executive Map, Isagenix. It pops right up, PDF, print, put it up. Put a date on it. Put a date on it. Even if you've already hit it, you're not going to keep it if you don't do it all over again. Because you're going to be playing the game, oh my gosh, this person's falling off, this person's falling off. And then you're going to play the management game, oh my God, your auto ship's due, because you don't want to fall off. And that's not duplicatable, and that's not how to build a legacy. So even if you've already hit Crystal Executive, we're going to freaking do it again. Are you guys excited? I'm excited. Because that means I have to find 10 new people and get them paid. That's exciting to me. That's exciting to me. Again, the best leadership qualities you have is by doing the work. If you want your team to do this, guess what? I don't care if you've hit Crystal Executive, you're going to do it again, because you got to show them how to do it. And sometimes when we've done it, we forget, because we go into management mode and then we forget what got us to Crystal Executive. I hit Crystal Executive in 11 weeks when I first started. And I did it all over again right after that. And that's why I've never had to worry about anybody falling off or playing that game. And it also kept me into that enrolling. It kept me getting people paid. Knowing the compensation plan, the big depths of it, isn't super important, because most of your people are going to get to manager. If you have a manager machine, like you plus two, them plus two, you plus two, them plus two, you plus two, them plus two, those that see the bigger vision are going to figure out the compensation plan. So thinking you have to know everything about everything is so irrelevant. You need to know you plus two, them plus two, like the back of your hand, and your people need to know you plus two, them plus two, like the back of your hand. So we're going to print out the map to Crystal Executive, and we're going to put a new date on it, even if we've already hit it. Yeah? I'm doing it. Are you? Okay. All right. So we're going to do that. So you're going to hang it up. And here's the thing. It's going to be time to establish your why. And I know for some people, like, well, I don't have a strong enough why. My why doesn't make me cry like yours does. I don't give a damn what your why is. It's important to you. Whatever is important to you, it matters. It doesn't have to make people cry. Because honestly, mine didn't make people cry in the beginning, because my why was just to freaking feel good. That was my why when I started Isagenix, nothing more than that. Your why will evolve. I want to know your why today. My second why, once I felt good, day 4, I was like, oh, game on. I feel freaking great. My second why, I never wanted to have to worry about child support again, because I was tired of being so angry at my kid's father. That was why number 2. Once I hit that and I wasn't mad at him anymore because I never needed it again, it was like, that was huge for me to not carry around resentment. I mean, to some people that may seem small because it wasn't that big, but it was enough to make a difference in my home. My why changed. And it was to pay for college and not have to worry about it. To not have the stress on my kids that they needed to get scholarships in order to go to college. So your why is going to evolve. So today, I want to know what your why is today. It is so valid and so important, but you're going to have to dig deep because your why is what's going to drive you when people are jerks to you. Your why is what's going to drive you when people walk out on you, because they're gonna. You step into your truth enough, people are going to walk out on you. Your why is what's going to keep you in the freaking game. So it has to be important to you. It can't be important to Tracy. It can't sound good. It can't look good on paper. It can't look good on a vision board. It has to be right freaking here. Because there was nothing that was going to shake me. Nothing. No matter what anybody said, no matter who left. Your destiny is not tied to people that leave. Okay? So stop giving them that power. So I want you to, whatever your why looks like, maybe put it on a piece of paper. I've had friends that have been in this business, and it's really important you know what your team's why is too. And when I know somebody's why, it's how I can kind of hold them accountable without holding them accountable, because I tell them, put that picture up in front of every distraction. If you're one of those that likes to organize stuff, that's a distraction. It really is. I know it's nice to have an organized space, but people use that as a distraction to not do the work. Put that picture up. If it's your kids, I want you to plaster pictures of your kids everywhere you make a decision that something else is more important than them. Then you have to look them in the face when you decide that something else is more important than doing this. Or put it next to your phone. Put it next to your phone. When you don't want to pick it up, you have to look your kids in the face and say, oh my gosh, my fear is bigger than them. There was nothing that was more important than my children. Nothing. And nothing would stop me from doing this for them. So you need to find that thing in you that no matter what anybody says to you, no matter what anybody does to you, no matter who leaves you, no matter who shows up, you are congruent with that why every single day. Can we agree to that? Find it. It's on page 3 of your 90-day game plan. So those of you that were at Celebration have the book. For those of you that weren't, you should have printed it out like I asked you to. So find your why and really plug into it. And like I said, if it takes you and I had to put pictures up because seriously, I was a little like rocky in the beginning. I was terrified. I was terrified in the beginning. And I was fragile. And I wasn't good at being vulnerable when I started. Like that was really new to me. You guys see me today and think it's no problem. That was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And so I needed that reminder of like when I was scared to hit post, when I was scared that somebody was going to talk shit about me, when I was scared somebody else was going to leave. And they did. But I needed a reminder of why I was doing this. So don't come up with a why that sounds good. Come up with a why that touches you right here. That if somebody was holding a gun to your head and said either you do this or that why is going out the door, I'm just gonna leave it at that. All right, eliminating distractions, seriously. The family meeting is really, really important. And for those of you that have little children that maybe don't understand, I know I've talked to many of you how you can get your kids involved from 2 on up. Get them excited, let them in on your stuff, because I'm telling you, your kids are your biggest accountability partners. Because when I let my kids know what my plans were, they were the first ones saying, Mom, did you hit that yet? Did you hit that yet? Are we going snowboarding, Mom? Mom, are we going to Texas for that country concert? Because you said when you hit that goal, we're going, right? And so, getting people involved, especially the ones you love the most, and then doing the work is probably the greatest thing you could do for not just you, for your family. You will have a whole new form of teamwork. And I'm telling you right now, even though I'm a single parent, I have the strongest team on the freaking planet with me and my 2 kids. Because we talk about everything. They are involved in everything I do. And when I am wrong and when I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, I talk about it. I don't pretend I'm something I'm not, even to them, just because I'm mom. So let them know your intentions, but more importantly, do the work. Because lip service doesn't show that you're serious. Lip service doesn't make your why happen. Lip service doesn't make your goal happen. You got to have the conversation, but then it's time to put your head down and do the work and get them involved. Get them involved. I hope I've seen lots of kids on this call. Hi, Grace. I see lots of kids on this call, and that's awesome. And I'm sorry if I've said a swear word. It just hit me. I've said a swear word or 2, so I'm sorry about that. But get your kids involved. Get your spouses involved. Maybe it'll bring you together. I mean, Jim Coover said it great. If you're married, this is either going to bring you together or it's going to tear you apart.
Yeah.
It really, really is. And, you know, I didn't have a spouse, so I kind of had to be everything. And I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. Still okay with that. But if you are in a relationship, get your spouse on board. Does it mean they have to work the business with you? Not necessarily. But they need to know your intentions, and then you need to back it up. You got to back it up. So it's really, really important. For those of you doing it solo, guess what? You can freaking do that too. Because if I can do it, anybody can do it. It's awesome. But you want to make sure people are on board with your vision. And, you know, if you're going to have hard conversations and if you're going to get resistance, I'm not telling you what to do with that. But the best way to stop resistance is to produce results. And I don't want you to put extra pressure on yourself. But if you have a history of not following through, then you're just going to have to understand that that's what's going to have to happen. And even with my own children, like seriously, my track record when I was starting this wasn't good. I had a lot of empty promises to them. So I had to prove it. I had to prove it. I had to prove that I was going to do what I was going to say I was going to do, no matter what. And so if you have a relationship at home or your children at home and that's your track record, be okay with proving it. You've earned that, you know, I'm not sure if you're really going to follow through with this. I understood that my track record earned me that. And I was okay with that because I had to own that. It isn't the case anymore. My kids know without a doubt when I say I'm going to do something, it's freaking done. End of story. So be okay with doing that. If you get resistance, own that you probably have earned that and own it. And don't be pissy about it. Don't be mad about it. You earned it. Own it. Sucks. It sucks when you have to look in the mirror, let me tell you. It sucks when you have to say, you know what? I wasn't so good at that. But you can at any moment decide that is not how your story is going to end. You can decide at any moment that, you know what, that is how I used to operate, and I get you don't trust me, you don't believe me, just watch. And I had to have those I had lots of, my track record before Isogenics was so awful. People were telling me, really, Trace, it takes somebody really special to do this. You should probably get a real job. The people I love the most said that to me. That was not easy to take. And that is something I would have quit over in the past. And I said, you know what? I totally understand and I deserve that. However, I'm not the same person I once was. And I've made the decision that I am all in. And it's okay that you don't believe me because I'm going to do it anyway. So that's really awesome. That's really awesome. And, you know, little by little, you know, it's with what I have never in the last 3 years said something I was going to do and then didn't follow through. And that is how you build trust and respect. Not everybody likes me, and I'm totally okay with that. Some of my own family don't like me. A lot of them don't. And I'm totally okay with that, but they trust and respect me. And that will build a legacy for you. Not the amount of likes you get on Facebook, not the amount of minions you have following you. Trust and respect builds legacies. Likes don't. All right. Here's what else we're going to do. We're going to make a list. If you haven't already, I'm so over people saying, oh, I made my list before. I don't know anybody. If I go to your Facebook friends list, I guarantee you have more than 100 friends on Facebook. And if they're all Isogenics people, you need to start deleting some. I see lists. That's awesome. Okay. We all love each other, but you need to make new friends. Okay. It's totally okay. Facebook is a tool. It's not a time sucker unless you allow it to. So stop it. Stop it right now. Stop friending each other. Stop. You need to make 15 new friends on Facebook this week. 15. Go to your old high school. Start friending everybody. Even if you didn't like that person in high school, they probably didn't like you either. It's okay. That was scary for me. I went in and started friending old car business people. I didn't like any of them, but I started friending them. So start making new friends. We love our Isogenics family. It's why we go to events to hug it all out. But if you keep friending your Facebook friends, seriously, you're going to be sucked into the black hole of Facebook. And that is so not an income producing activity. It is so not duplicatable to be on Facebook 4 hours a day. I hate it. I'm on it way too much. So I have to set timers. So stop friending each other. Can we agree to that? Right? If you want to love on your Isogenics family, set a timer for 15 minutes. 15 minutes a day, love Isogenics family. After that, no. You're loving new people. You're meeting new friends. Can we agree to that? This will change your business. It'll change your family dynamic. Because when you tell your family you're working and you're really screwing around on Facebook, that's not being honest. That's not telling the truth. All right? Okay. On page 47 of your 90-day game plan, this is where you make the commitment, and this is where you put it to writing. And me and my kids did this over the weekend. And I was really, it was interesting. All three of us had very, very different things that came up in this. The force that drives your actions, this is powerful stuff. Be really honest. Take a few days to write this out if you haven't already. I don't want you to just fill it in just to fill it in. That's pointless. That's pointless. I want you to really tap into the core. And it's going to take peeling back a few layers. It really, really is. And then you got to sign it. You got to sign it. It's a contract with yourself. And honestly, I don't care if you told me something and if you break your promise to me. I really don't care, because you got to live with that. I'm more concerned about you breaking the promise to you. Don't break the promise to yourself. And, a perfect effort is all I ever ask of anybody. I'm not going to always have perfect results. Things aren't always going to go the way that I think they are. The story never ends the way that I think it's written out. It never ends up that way. So stop planning it to go a certain way, because however you're planning it to go, it's going to go completely different. I didn't plan for any of this to look the way that it did, or to go the way that it did. The end result will get you there, but you gotta be okay with making these commitments to yourself and then putting it out there. Getting an accountability partner, not somebody that tells you what you want to hear. I'm gonna mute somebody again. Hold on a second, so I'm distracted. All right. Get an accountability partner, somebody that will be honest with you. I'm not going to lie. Most of the people in my life prior to recovery, I'll say, the 6 months before Isogenics, I surrounded myself with people that thought I was great, that told me what I wanted to hear, that would bail me out, that would lie for me, that would make excuses for me. And that got me nowhere. That got me nowhere. So I want you to find an accountability partner. Somebody's going to call you on your shit. And I got 2 little people that call me on my shit every day. They don't care how many stars and circles are in front of my name. I'm still mom. And they know that they're going to tell me the truth because I tell them the truth. So find somebody that will tell you the truth. And it's not going to be me. I'm just going to tell you that right now. I'll be here every week, fanning your flame, shoving your coals. But I'm not going to be your accountability partner. And you have to have that fire within you. Your accountability partner can't light that fire in for you. But they can say, hey, remember when you said you're going to do this? Did you do it? Oh. That's all that they're there for. They're not there to light your fire. Again, you got to spark your own little flame. Okay, that commitment's huge. I'm going to get you out of here soon. Is this okay? You guys good? Valuable? All right, we're going to get really fun here. So all of you need to use the products religiously. If you haven't done a 30-day system in a while, you probably should. You should probably remember what it felt like to cleanse and have it suck. Because your people are struggling through their cleanses. And you're like, oh, suck it up. Suck on that snack. But when was the last time you did a cleanse? When? When was the last time you were out of Ionics? Never. I went 4 days without it. It was horrible. So be a product of the product. You're going to enter the IsaBody Challenge if you haven't done so already. If you're in one, then you're going to be bold about it. You're going to be in your health and wellness product pages preaching about the IsaBody Challenge because that is a built-in accountability system. Take your before pictures and flash them up there for the world to see, no matter how embarrassing they are. Step into your truth. And most of you are afraid to do it because you're like, well, what if I quit? Then I don't look like I follow through. Well, yeah, you're right. You're not going to follow through. Step into it. Make the commitment. Be bold. Be bold and then do the work. So enter the IsaBody Challenge. Enter Healthy Mind and Body if you're not in one right now. Many of us have done 1, 2, or 3 before. Do it again. Do it again. So when your people are struggling with it, you can say, I understand. I remember on day 4, that was my hard day too. In fact, I'm on day 37. And they're going to be impressed that you're still doing the work, that you're still doing the do. Again, people will do what you do, not what you say to do. I'm in a Healthy Mind and Body Challenge. I'm in the IsaBody Challenge. So you're going to need to walk the walk you talk, use the products, do the systems, do the things that not only build up retention and your order basket. I mean, because a lot of you guys have enrolled a lot of people, right? Is your percentage higher than 20% of retention? If it's not, I guarantee it's because your people aren't enrolled in those things because you're not doing it. Okay, I have probably a 70% retention rate. And it's because I'm doing the work every day. I'm using the products. I'm doing the do. It's the unglamorous, the mundane stuff. And I'm not saying that to pump my own horn or anything like that, but I'm doing the things I'm asking people to do, right? Can we agree to that? Okay. Serve, 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 and serve. When my son has been going through some hard times, or actually both my kids have been having a hard time, I tell them both, and they hate it. I tell them to take a shot of Ionics. I tell them to drink a shake. And then I tell them to get their butts and strive for change and go love on some people. It works every time. And what's happening is, again, if you've put people into your page, our page, and you're not there, your people are going to do exactly what you do, and that's nothing. But a lot of you are spending time leading teams and doing, and I get that. That should only be 20% of your time. 80% of your time should be talking to new people and loving on your product users. Because did you know 80% of your tree is going to be just product users? So why would you not love those people? And I'm telling you right now, your next rock star that has the potential to max out your business center will be a product user. It will be that soccer mom that's having a really good experience. It will be that mom that's playing with her children again instead of sitting on the couch. So love those people, serve those people, and not just the people that you've enrolled or the people in your organization. Again, have no agenda. You serve everyone. Will it show up in your paycheck? No, not necessarily, but it will show up in abundance that you cannot even understand. And I'm going to tell you something right now. You're going to need somebody in another state, in another organization at some time. And because I have selflessly loved people that weren't financially linked to me, when I have somebody pop up in Maine, I have a friend there that's not financially linked to me that I can plug into their meetings. That I can say, hey, this girl needs you. She's just getting started. When I have somebody in Australia, I've got about 5 powerhouse leaders out in Australia because I've done calls for their teams, or, you know, they've got somebody in Arizona that I helped. It's really, really important that you just don't think about you and what you're going to gain from this. You serve everyone. You have to guard your energy. You have to set limits. Absolutely. You got to do your work first. But service should always be a part of your income producing activities, even if it isn't financially linked to you. This will reap huge rewards in ways you cannot imagine that will come to fruition down the line. Honestly, it's why a lot of you have the support you have. because I did that work. So duplicate that. Service is the number one thing you can be doing. All right? Enroll, getting them paid, serve. Enroll, get people paid, serve. That's leadership. All right, consistency. So we've all committed to this 90-day game plan, and I'm curious to see how many of you are here 30 days from now. The numbers are usually only about 20%. Are you going to be part of that 20%? Again, they're going to do what you do, not what you say to do. Please, please, please don't give up on yourself. A perfect effort. Do this every day. Get your families involved. It's easy to be consistent when you have your team with you. And I mean your family, the people that are a part of your everyday. And you know what's funny is that starts to duplicate in your own home. My kids now have big hearts of service. They had it in them, but they had to have that modeled for them. Consistency. That started in my home. They're two of the most consistent kids I've ever met in my life at 18 and 19. They weren't always, because mom wasn't always. When they say they're going to do something, they do it, even when they don't want to, because mom does it. Because how you do anything is how you do everything. If you get nothing else, wrap your brain around that. How you do anything is how you do everything. When I saw all that trash on the floor at Celebration, I was appalled. I was appalled. Like, how they do that is probably how their entire organization, how their family life is. How you do anything is how you do everything. You do what you say you're going to do. You honor your commitments and you give it a perfect freaking effort every day. All right? That is what's going to propel you. And, you know, by serving people, you're going to hit the goals. I don't want you to focus on the stars and circles and the rank advancements. Those will come. I promise you. Do the work. Enroll, get them paid, serve. Enroll, get them paid, serve. Okay. Now, we're going to end here in 2 minutes, but I've got two things for you. We're going to have some fun, okay? So there's a book that I read, and, you know, I need a drink. So there was a book I read not too long ago. Actually, this is a great story. I was given a book when I was still in the car business because I was that negative Nelly. I was the toxic person in my entire sales office. Even though I was the number one person in my office, I was that person. I was that person that when I walked in, people ran like hell because they're like, oh my God, what kind of mood is she in? And it's funny, my daughter Casey was telling that story to her boyfriend today about me, that when she would hear me pull up, if she was on the couch watching TV, she'd have a pit in her stomach because she wasn't sure which mom was going to show up. That was hard to hear today, but it's the truth. And I own that because it's true, because you never knew what was coming. So I was that person in my office, and this beautiful woman, she threw a book at me. And I was like, and it was a personal development book. And I looked at the cover, and it was like, I was like, whatever. I was like, I know what I'm doing. I obviously know what I'm doing. I'm the number one person in this office. You know, that's kind of how I was. And then I was like, F you, you know, like being a jerk. I was such a jerk. And I actually took that book and threw it in my closet for 2 years. By then, you know, I didn't stumble across it. I had already walked away from my career. I had already been through rehab. I was unemployed. I had been left. I was actually packing up this house that I'd lived in, and my dreams were kind of messed up. And I was packing up and going through some old stuff, and I ran across this book, and it had dust all over it. And I literally sat down in my closet and read it from cover to cover and cried because I knew what she was trying to tell me. I knew what she was trying to tell me. And I got on the phone immediately and called and thanked her, and I apologized for being that person in her life because I was so toxic. And I was bringing everybody down with me because I felt so shitty about myself. So that author is John Gordon, and that book was called The Energy Bus. And that's an amazing book. And if you haven't read it, get it already. However, I have a different one that I want you to read. And this is a personal development book. It'll literally take you no more than 2 hours to read it from cover to cover. So you can have it done by next week. If you're an audio book listener, you can get it on audio and read it. But it's called The Carpenter. And this is hands down probably my favorite book in the entire world. And this beautiful thing I have back here that says love, serve, and care came from this book. One of my beautiful teammates, Robin and Scott Smith, gave it to me a few months ago, because it is the epitome of what we are here at Isagenix. It's the epitome of who I am in my life, regardless of if anybody joins my team or not. This is how I operate every day. And if you operate every day with the principles that are laid out in this book, your life will be so rich, whether or not your bank account says it. There is something so valuable about loving, serving, and caring about people every single day. So get this book, John Gordon. It is honestly the best book you'll ever read. And if you practice these principles in everything you do, you will have success. And success isn't dictated by the stars and circles or dollars. It's about the lives you impact. You want to be a craftsman. I promise. I promise. So get that book. Another fun thing I want you guys to do. Are you loving my baseball hat? All right, so this is my game on hat. And it's been funny because I've done a lot of YouTube videos and I've had people say that they channel the braids, they channel the baseball hat, they throw on a hat when they're like ready to get down to business. So I would love to have a little fun Facebook campaign with a baseball hat, just you, having fun, just a fun selfie, and just hashtag it, I'm all in. That's it. Wouldn't that be fun? Can we do that? Because I'm going to look for you. A lot of you are on this call. We had 100 people on this call. And a lot of people that are pissed they didn't get on this call. So know that unless you're all in, you took a spot from somebody that really wanted it. And like I said, I got a list of you. So if you don't show up next week, how dare you take a spot from somebody? So I want to see you're all in with a baseball hat with that hashtag. So that is what I have for our prep week. We've got lots to do. We've got a vision board, our map to crystal executive. We've got our list. We've got our why. That's a lot to get done in a week. If you have a full-time job, you've got the weekend to do that. You've got this beautiful book. This will fill your soul. This is not work. Trust me, you're going to enjoy every second of that. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week. I am freaking all in. I am so fired up. I'm doing the work right along with you. My family is doing the work right alongside me. And so I'm going to open it up. If you have any questions, maybe 10 minutes worth. I said an hour and a half. We've been on an hour and 20 minutes. So maybe 10 minutes if you have questions. And if you have a question, if it's going to benefit everybody, those are the questions I'd love to hear. I don't want a case-by-case question. We want to ask questions that serve the masses, yeah? So I'm going to open this up. Yeah, if you want to put that picture on your own personal page, it'll definitely create some curiosity. People want to know what you're all in for. And if you're not a baseball hat wearing kind of person, they're really going to want to know what's up. For me, it's probably no big deal because everybody sees me wear it every day. But how fun would that be to create a little curiosity? Heck yeah, all in. But throw on a hat and have some fun with it. Just be fun. People need to see that this isn't just, grinding it out. You're that weird network marketer. You want to have fun. We have fun, but we work a lot. We work hard. So I'm going to open this up if you guys have questions. I appreciate if you're going to say thank you to me, but save that. We want to save our time for things that can help each other. I appreciate all of you guys so, so much. I am so grateful for all of you. I love you, and I couldn't do this without you. You guys lift me up in ways that you don't even know. So I'm going to unmute you guys. If you have a question that's going to help everybody, let's do that. I love you. Thank you. You're welcome. All that. So if you're going to say that, I appreciate that. But let's help each other out. Okay?
Get toys in.
She's going to give it to you if you
Gavin, you have a question?
Hey, Gavin, get toys.
I guess nobody has a question.
Okay, go rinse off. Go rinse off and shower.
Oh, we got mommy
go on the vision board.
All right. Okay.
Already a pass.
You guys have nothing for me.
I do. Tracy.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna mute everybody. Hold on. Unmute yourself.
You're right.
All right, unmute yourself if you've got a question.
Okay, Tracy, with all the people that could not get on the call that were trying and people that had to work, are you recording?
Hold on a second. All right, we there? Unmute yourself. If that was Nicole, I think I recognize the voice. Nicole Hammondtree, was that you?
Yes.
Okay, what was the question?
So for the people who could not get on the call or someone who had to work tonight, was the call recorded since so many people were trying to get on?
I know. I'm going to think about this because I said that people needed to get on, and I understand we had within 30 seconds, all 100 spots were filled. So what I want to do, I don't want this shared all across Isogenics. I really don't. This is special for us and for you guys, because what happens when we share this with the masses, it's gonna take away from your energy right now. And I'm all about serving everybody, but I have to really manage my time as well. So what I think, and I'm not making any promises, I'm gonna have to figure out logistics on how to do this. But if I do post it up, it's going to be for 24 hours only. For 24 hours only. So they have 24 hours to get it in and watch it and not share it. I mean, I'm gonna have to figure out how this can't be shared. I'm not quite sure how yet. And I think everybody can respect that. This is a not something to take kind of like lightly or without urgency. I do respect the fact that we had over 300 people RSVP to show up for this, and within 30 seconds, 100 spots were filled. So I get that, and I have opened this up to a few of my beautiful Crossline, beautiful one team people, and I am so grateful that they're here. So let me think about how I'm going to do that, Nicole. I want to honor everybody that is making this commitment, and I do believe that the information I gave tonight was pretty darn good, I hope. So I'm going to try and figure out how to make that happen, at least for 24 hours and 24 hours only, because we have to have a sense of urgency, right?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
This is Angela. I just wanted to bring up a point. When you push in the all in on the website, it tells you page 47 for the commitment. And just so anyone who knows who doesn't understand, on the downloaded, because I wasn't at Celebration, it's page 37.
Okay,
And
that's awesome.
some people that don't know, they might be really confused because page 47 is the calendar.
It's the page that says ready to grow. Just
Yeah,
so you guys
it's
know.
page 30. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Hey, Tracy, can you hear me?
Who is this? Who is that?
Can you hear Adriana?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, I just wanted to ask, how do we guarantee we're going to be able to get on next week? That's
on
what I'm
early.
worried about.
Get on early.
Well, no, because I was early. I kept trying for three times to get on, and I just by luck, because I know there's like 4 other people that were trying.
The only other way that I could do this, but then it's not interactive, is to do it as a webinar, and I don't want to do that. I want to see everybody that's on. You know, the only other option will be the 24-hour option.
Okay.
I know. I honestly, it sucks. I mean, it's a good problem to have. And I understand life happens and people were on early, and I'm so, like, I'm not going to be an asshole about it, but I need to figure out something that serves everybody, but for a very short amount of time. I mean, there is some urgency here, and I am sorry for people that couldn't get on, or they had a hard time, or they got booted off or whatever. And so I do want to honor everybody. And I'm going to try and figure something out that works, Adriana. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate you getting on.
Tracy, it's Grace.
Hi, Grace.
Is the 100 people just physically here in Zoom on and through this? Like, can more people get on the phone line and just listen? I'm just curious if you know.
I don't think so.
Okay, so it's 100 max, regardless.
For a Zoom, yes. For a Zoom, yes. If I did a webinar, no. But I don't want to do a webinar because then I can't see who's here, and I want interaction. So, okay. I see my daughter waving at me.
I was on hold, and it kicked me off right when it started. The music was holding, and then it just knocked me off right when it started.
Well, I am so not technically savvy. I just show up, so sorry. I just know how to talk. That's it.
Tracy, I do think there's an option with Zoom where you can get 200 people on, because that's what I have.
I have the max option. I do, but I'll look into it. I pay a big hefty sum every month to have the max on, but I'll look into that and see.
Tracy, I have a question.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Are we
All
on?
right. Hold on. Let's get this youngster group out of the way. Where are they? How many of you guys are there? Hello?
We have a solution.
Together and all watch on one screen.
Make a party of it.
Okay, that is a
Like
good
10
solution. All right, Adriana, that's a good solution. Is getting a house full together to watch on one screen. Love it.
Mom,
What?
Mom,
What?
what's for dinner?
A shake.
What's for dinner?
A shake.
She said a shake.
All right.
We're out.
Anyway. Jared, thanks for having all of them over there. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. It's actually not at my house, Lexi, but yeah, this is fun to collaborate like this.
Thanks for doing this for
appreciate
us.
Awesome job, you guys.
Love you, Tracy.
We love you guys too. Okay, Pam Campos, you were trying to say something. Got the feisty youngsters out of the way.
So I'm brand new to the business part, and my biggest burning question is starting at ground zero. Could you please tell me whatever it was that you said at the beginning to people to convince them that this is to buy the products, that this is the best thing for their life? What is it that you said what's your line?
That's the problem, is you're thinking you need a line. I honestly used the products. I lived out loud. People that knew me were like, what the heck has gotten into you? And I was like, seriously, I had no idea when I started this that I was going to feel this good. I had every intention of returning these things, but holy crap, here I am 7 days in, and I feel like I was shot out of a cannon. And oh my goodness, you told me you were feeling like this. Give it a try. You got to try this. Do it with me. And you can't convince anybody of anything. And if you convince people, they're either going to return it or they're going to quit or they don't care. They're going to think you're crazy. There is no secret line. There is no secret sauce. You live out loud. You live passionately. You are a product of the product every day. And you have to be positive. If you're a Debbie Downer and you're out there like, woe is me, and my life sucks, and I've been through this and I've been through that. And I've been through a lot of crap when I started this, but I didn't care. I was just like, oh my goodness, everybody needs to feel like this. And as far as them, people want to know how I got people to share so easily. And I was literally live out loud like, listen, I have no idea how. I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I'm going to build a freaking empire with this. Are you coming with me? And it's so funny, those people that watched me early on, they're like, I will never forget that conversation. You said you were going to do it, and here you are freaking doing it. And I'm like, I still don't know how I'm doing it, but I'm doing it. I'm starting new people, I'm getting them paid, and I'm serving them. And so as far as getting people started, honestly, I didn't care how stupid I looked. I didn't care if people called me crazy. I didn't care. I was like, listen, I care about you, and I've been watching you, and I know you're not feeling good. And it was like a place of a heart. It wasn't basically being condescending, which unfortunately I see a lot of people do. Like, we drink the Kool-Aid and all of a sudden we think people should get it. And we're like, what are you waiting for? You should be doing this. And that is so condescending. Even if I needed what they had, there's no freaking way I would start with them. Because seriously, who the hell are you? Like, a week ago you felt like shit every day. And now you're telling me that, what am I waiting for? Like, when I get people that are, like, the key is to never forget how you felt when you started. I will never forget the hole I crawled out of to get here. I will never forget how crappy I felt. I felt like dead girl walking every day. And so when somebody is a little bit kind of hesitant, I just grab their hand and I'm like, listen, I get it. I know where you're at. I remember when I felt like this. Please, I know we're talking about this right now. Trust me. But, Pam, I'm going to tell you, you got to be consistent. You got to be a product of the product, and you got to be doing it every day. Like, I know it sounds ridiculous, but you got to eat, breathe, sleep, isogenics. So you have it oozing out of your skin, even if you never even mention the word. Like, I was so just like full of life, even though my life was in shambles, that people were like, people that didn't know me were like, I don't know who you are and what you do, but whatever you do, I just want to be around you because your energy and your light is so bright, and I need that in my life. And that is the God's honest truth. I was sitting around saying, oh, woe is me. The boyfriend just left me. I'm left with all these bills. I have no idea how I'm going to put a roof over my kid's head. Nobody wants to hear that, and nobody really cared. Honestly, nobody cares about your story. They only care about their own. And so you need to figure out a way to exude your excitement and your passion in a way that serves them, even if they don't start Isogenics. Like, I just want good people in my life. And so in order to attract good people in my life, I need to be a good freaking person. And that means being positive at all times. That means finding the good, even in the jerks. That means, never engaging in gossip or negativity. I won't do it. And it's very easy to get sucked into that. But you got to kind of go first and just, the right people will show up. But you can't just quit because nobody's showing up. Even if nobody showed up, I was still doing it. I was still drinking my shakes and doing my ionics and cleansing. And, if nobody showed up, awesome. But I was still going to do it, because the people that are watching you that aren't saying anything are the ones seeing if you're going to be consistent, because they want to know if 6 months down the road that you're going to be in the game.
Yeah, that's true.
They are. I mean, honestly, all my stuff that I do on social media isn't for the people that are commenting and liking. It's for the people that aren't saying anything, because they're seeing if I'm going to be consistent. In fact, I have people that waited 2 years to call me because they wanted to see if I was still in the game. Because quite honestly, my track record was, hey, I'm all in on this thing. And then 6 months later, what's your track record? You're going to have to earn some people's respect as far as your track record goes. And it's going to take time sometimes. Yeah. I said this on stage at Celebration. You can't expect a gourmet meal out of the microwave. You cannot. You cannot expect this to just have the one-liner that's going to get people. It's going to take consistent daily action and walking the walk you talk and being a product of the product and doing the work. That is how people will be attracted to you, and they're going to trust you enough to join.
Okay.
Some people have great one-liners and it gets people, but it doesn't keep people. I would much rather keep people from the get-go than just get an enrollment. I don't want people that are just going to turn and burn on me. I don't want to attract people that aren't all in. I accept nothing but people that are all in. I accept nothing less than people that give a perfect effort. And because I don't tolerate that, I don't attract that. I don't attract the people that are just I'm just going to dabble. I'm not a dabbling kind of girl. If you're a dabbling kind of girl, you're going to attract dabbling kind of people. So be who you want to attract, and don't act that way contingent on who shows up. Act that way regardless of who shows up, regardless if anybody shows up. Does that make sense?
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That was a little harsh, but it's the truth. All right, one more question if anybody's got any, and I'll let y'all go. It's been a long hour and a half, and I am parched. Anybody? All right.
Gonna go work it.
I can hear you. Oh, Margaret, of course you're going to work it. All right, kids.
Hey, full time.
I know. You got some work to do. All right, I love y'all. I'll figure this out, and I'll figure this out somehow. I love y'all. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for doing the work. Perfect effort. We're all in, baby. See you later.
Have a good night, Tracy.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi.